Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday night, November 30th, and War Games just wrapped up in Vancouver. It is time for In This Very Ring Survivor Series post-show breakdown. I am the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. My name is Rich. Joining me is the OGP of A2D, Mr. Background Noise himself, Pete Evans.
What is up, man? Hey, man, it's a household of six, man. You can't get isolation and quiet all the time, but happy to be here.
And ladies and gentlemen, fresh off an incredible Black Friday sale at Cards and Comics Connection in Conroe, the mayor of Toasty Town, Mr. Butters.
With the Carhartt hat. A little bit of fashion sense left in there for you.
It ain't much. There ain't much there.
What was it? What was the temperature out there in Texas today?
It went from like 40 to 60 to mid 70s back to like 59.
Yeah, we didn't see anything over 36 all day, so
I'll trade you.
We had all the seasons in one day.
Yeah, we really did. It was miserable.
It's inconsistent. But all right, as we is on with the show. Great show. PLE tonight. Bring the energy. It was decent. We'll get into it. Like, share, subscribe everywhere. A2D Ready on all handles. Well, lead the way, our fearless leader, our not-tribal chief.
Our not-tribal chief, this man says. So we opted for no poll question tonight because when you do a host show like this, you really can't come up with a good question because you have to do things right at the end of the show.
Right.
I mean, Ralphie, God bless Ralph Dallavecchio for posting the show as the main event went on and giving us enough time to where we could make changes and adjust and be able to go live earlier if we needed to. So, big shout out to him. Do we want to just get right into the match card from top to bottom and go women's war games, start with the women's war games and end with the men's war games? Or is there something that you guys feel like we have to talk about right now in regards to, say, the men's war game match?
No, I think we be good. We're good following the card.
Okay. I don't think anything like spastically exciting happened that we have to talk about it right now.
Right, and that's where I guess as we go through it, where it is my one gripe, coming off of such a tremendous Survivor Series last year and such an ending to a show, and how you think about like the last few PLEs have ended on such a massive point.
Yeah.
Was this ending with the OG, Bloodline standing tall, along with CM Punk, was that massive enough to kind of stay on track with everything else that we've seen this year? But let's get right into it. Let's get into the women's war game match. First of all, how did you guys feel about this match? Given that you have on one side Bianca Belair, Bayley, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi, and on the other side, both women's champions in Nia Jax and Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
You have Raquel.
Money in the Bank winner, too.
Yeah, you have Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton. You have Raquel, and you have Candice LeRae. Not to take away from Bianca being one half of the women's tag team champions, but the women's tag team titles are always in that land of obscurity, especially given when you have two new mid-card titles coming to play, right?
Nope.
You have such a stacked team on one side from accomplishments and current accomplishments, relevant accomplishments.
I'm glad you said that, current accomplishments.
But then you look at, Team Rhea, Team Bianca, whatever you're calling it, they doubled war game appearances for Team Liv.
Yeah.
18-9.
Yeah.
You look at the stacked deck just between Rhea, Bayley, and Bianca alone. The laundry list of credentials and accolades that these women have. We start things out with Bayley and Nia. Keep in mind that Team Rhea has the advantage throughout this match. So Bayley and Nia start out. And is it just me? There was something about, it's very prevalent here in Bayley and Nia, they were not in sync with each other. It felt very sloppy.
It felt like something was off because even when Naomi came in, it was like Bayley and Naomi couldn't get on the same page as Nia.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. I would say we've seen Nia, this iteration of her. We know her past.
Mm-hmm.
Very good person outside the ring for all accounts. What we've heard, just in the ring, wasn't the safest worker. Wasn't always the best of time. Now she has seemed to iron all that crap out when it's just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like, and even when you're in the Rumble, you can kind of hide yourself a little bit. To where her timing in this venue, and especially how early she went in, I felt as if didn't do her any justice. And that's the other thing I wish up until this point, I wish that Nia would have taken the lead in that, saying like, this is my team. She should have been saved for last, not Liv. The biggest thing that headed into this women's War Games match that I can kind of see, but I didn't like, and they didn't pivot from it, was the biggest storyline was Rhea getting her hands on Liv. That was the biggest storyline. And I kind of understand that from a certain point, but from what you need to see optically and how the match is going to flow, I would have had Liv and Nia's entrances into the actual match completely flip-flopped. You know what I mean? Because you could have sold that story with Liv coming into the ring, Rhea has everybody down, and now Liv has to, at this point, get her come up into what's coming to her, right? I don't know what you would have done, who the last person would have been on Rhea's side. Or you could have had Liv still come in, whatever, she's being a chicken shit heel running around, and then Rhea goes through everybody in one ring to get to her in the other ring while she's by herself. And then you have Nia come in and have to do less work, and it doesn't have to be as time. And that's, you know what I mean?
See, I like it. The Nia thing really throws it off, and I'm not wanting to sit here and try to seem like I'm bashing Nia or anything like that, but you can't put Nia anywhere. You can't put Nia last, I should say. In my opinion,
she's the biggest woman that like staturally, she's the biggest. She's had the most dominant year of any out of any women's champion.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I think Nia's had a phenomenal year.
Mm-hmm.
But and keep in mind, Rhea would have come out last. Rhea was the last one to come out, regardless, right?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. She could have entered in the match earlier.
But I think in doing that, if you have Liv start against Bayley, let's just flip-flop them for a second. Liv and Bayley go at it, they do all these great things, and the match proceeds exactly the same way until you get to the part where Nia comes out. Nia comes out and decimates everybody.
Oh, yeah. But like, almost like a la what she does in the Rumble.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then you're going to overshadow Nia tremendously by having Rhea come out next and Rhea steamrolling through one of your champions.
Yeah.
You know, I think the benefit here, we didn't see, other than the beatdown of Rhea, we really didn't see a lot of Rhea and Nia really clashing too much. They kept them separate as to say, hey, you know what, Rhea, you're not better than Nia. We don't want to, Nia's still a champion. We have to respect the fact that she's still a champion over here. Right? So I thought that was very smart in that aspect. If you have Nia come out last for her team, though, you have to position Rhea blowing through Nia to get to Liv.
Because she had the advantage, remember? Rhea's team had the advantage. Nia would have been coming in.
That's right. Nia was last. That's right.
Yes,
that's right. Hold on here. Okay. I totally foobarred that in my head.
Yeah, Nia would have been the last.
Why the hell didn't you stop me earlier?
Because I was just letting you go. But that's what I'm saying. Nia, so you could have still had everything you have, and then Nia come in, decimate everybody after Rhea gets her hands on Liv, after the beatdown with the bat. All of that could have happened, and just have Nia come out and run through everything. I find it funny that the fact that Liv has a guaranteed number one contender in EO for a predetermined match at some future time, and everybody knows that Rhea wants to get her hands on a title again.
She'll probably have it at the Saturday night's main event.
But she has no true lockdown number one contender. That's what I'm saying. Like the way they approach this, you didn't need to have Liv take the forefront. Everybody knows that Rhea wants to get her hands on Liv. This should have been Nia's show from the start.
And I think the downfall there with that is with how popular Rhea has become.
Right, but don't feed it to me, right? Like you don't need to go out your way to make her popular. Everybody already knows.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong by no stretch of the imagination. Please don't think I am. What was the detriment to this? If I could say, hey, here's the reason why they went this route is because of Rhea's popularity, because of the fact Liv is attached to Rhea. So now Liv automatically gets put in that position. The problem you have over here with Nia, and this is it right here. I couldn't have asked for better timing on this. This is the reason why Nia starts. Is you position yourself so perfectly for a Tiffany cash-in on Nia that when Tiffany pulls out that briefcase out of the damn
Liv
trash
and Nia
can,
were both down at that point.
I'm in my office at the dealership, and I went ballistic.
Yeah.
Because I was thought excited. She was going to cash in.
Here's the thing.
That right there, though. But that right there, and let me cook for a minute. That right there is why you put Nia in the beginning. Because when you look at Nia, that's her biggest storyline. It is not, God, who is she even dealing with over there? It's not Naomi.
Anybody she goes against is if Tiff is going to cash it in. But here's the thing: since the Triple H era, he's never given.
Thank you, by the way, James. Thank you for that.
He's never given us what we wanted at the time that we thought we were ready to handle. Cody in 39, he waited to 40. Look how long he had Damian hold it. He's not going to do this when everybody's going to see it coming. Now, outside of that, everything else that happened on this card, I pretty much could have seen it coming. And I'm not surprised by anything else that happened on the card. So
I'm not either. And I think it's okay.
It is.
For you to have an event that is kind of a little predictable.
Right.
Right. In this aspect, when really you're looking at War Games, the women's War Games, and the men's War Games. That's the only reason why any of us watched this event tonight. No disrespect, but nobody was watching for LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Which hats off to Shin because LA Knight needed it.
Yeah.
He's talking about somebody who was cooled off.
But the whole thing was cooled off.
Yeah.
Right? Nakamura showing up 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Like he showed up and nobody cared because he showed up and was the same asshole that he was before he left that nobody was about.
He's just all black with the mist.
Yeah, that nobody was about.
Exactly.
Back a dead character.
Yeah.
We knew what
he tried to make it a little darker and it doesn't work.
We knew what we were getting with the Intercontinental title match. And like I said, we'll break these down in more detail. We knew for the most part, and I have a big bone to pick with this World Championship match.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what's coming next. We knew what we were getting there. Yep.
With both War Games matches, we were kind of like, man, this could go either way.
Right.
Yep.
And the men's had a little bit more at stake than the women's did. Right?
But at least with the women, regardless of what happened, you had something coming out of it.
I mean, the women was...
Did you, though?
This women's one was different because it literally felt like the end to all this was Liv and Raquel chasing the women's tag team titles. That was... that was the end to this because we saw Liv and Raquel on SmackDown more than we saw Nia, Tiff, Candice on Raw. Liv and Raquel were going to Friday nights, not Friday coming to Monday nights. So when Jay got hurt, and hats off, there's a lot of conflicting stuff out there, the dirt sheets and actual people that know. We don't know what's going on. It's just we know she's going to be out for us for about 3 months. We'll see if it is legit, it's legit. If it's not legit, what have you. But if it is, hats off, speedy recovery, whatever you got going on, Jay. Get well, only come back when you're right. I'm happy to see this. That's the other thing. I'm happy to see Raquel back. I'm happy to see Raquel back from the standpoint of what she went through health-wise. Now she's back. She looks like she's on the mend. She's back to being the path to consistent health. But it just seemed all convoluted, like it was cash-in. Everybody was watching that match for the cash-in. And at that time, Liv and Nia are both down. But you have to think to yourself, when does it make sense? Because once she cashes in, where does she go from here?
We've never had a cash in at War Games.
No, we haven't.
You know, people were interested to want to see one, to see how it even worked.
Well, but I don't. No. I love you to death. Nobody was interested to see how it worked. Nobody gave a shit on how it worked. At this point, you have teased it and you have teased it and you have teased it. And this is the same issue we had last year with Damian Priest. You had come so close on so many different occasions to actually cashing it in. At this point, hand the motherfucking thing over.
Yeah.
Right? Just let it go. Let it be free. And you didn't do that. And that's the problem that I have with it when it comes to the cash-in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, remember when Damian had it how many times? That was the talk going into last year's War Games when Seth was in the match. And he was the World Heavyweight Champion. Yep. Was Damian going to cash it in? And then we came close so many times. I don't know what it is about trips and that aspect of the storytelling and someone in creative where they want to keep like paper cuts. Where we had it this past Money in the Bank, it was all once again, I still have a problem with this. You sacrificed the Money in the Bank to get me to a Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood with Drew and Punk. You didn't need to do that, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying?
I will
elevate that story.
With this Money in the Bank, James is saying the Money in the Bank cash-in has been drawn out since before the last PLE. Really needed it to be tonight because it's dead, to be honest. I don't think it's dead. This is the one thing that nobody has counted on yet. And it was kind of relevant tonight. Mm-hmm. The Candice LeRae factor.
Yep.
Candice LeRae has added a new depth to this story.
What do you think she's going to do? What does your gut tell you what's going to happen? What do you want? Because I want to see if you're thinking like me.
It gave Tiffany the out
mm-hmm.
to turn on Nia.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It made it more clear, like, all right, how is she going to do it? All right, Candice is really getting close to Nia. Nia's kind of pushing Tiffany off to the side. You know, Tiffany's going to get resentment and just say, screw it, I'm cashing in on you. I could also see Candice inadvertently costing Nia the championship in some way, shape, or form when Tiffany goes to cash in.
I think two things happen. I think there's no guarantee that Tiff cashes in on Nia, for one. This is the first opportunity she had the chance to cash in on Liv at the same time. That's one. Two, I also think that realistically can happen where Tiff cashes in on Nia, Candice then goes with Tiff, and then Nia is by herself.
And that's what James is saying right here. And I think that would be it.
I didn't even see that. No lie.
No, he literally put it in as you were talking.
Yeah, I'm not. I can see that happening.
If that's the route, like, I just got really excited. If that's the route they go with this, I will be so happy because I think Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae could do some amazing things together.
Yep.
Right?
Candice needs a new partner after hers got fired.
Financial. I don't think they truly wanted to give her away for talent. I think
I heard Butter say Candice needs a new partner, and then it died. This is what I love about wireless technology.
But no, we all wanted it, right? And it's kind of crazy. So, like James was saying, so well, he was saying about Damian's cash and like how many times that got teased, and then we didn't expect that at WrestleMania 40. That's
correct.
That's my end goal, right? It sucks right now, but it's going to happen at a time and a place that we don't expect.
Thanks, Greg.
And thanks, Billy. But I think that's what's going to happen.
And I think tonight, if you're not having her cash in on Nia, I think tonight, because we didn't expect when she walked out without it,
we didn't expect to see it.
I was like, you know what? Hey, they've already told us, guys, we're not even gonna tease this. Right? Just rock and roll with it. All right, cool. Yep. I thought nothing of it for like an hour until it pops right out of that trash can. I was like, oh.
Right. I would rather than not even have done that, because like you said, when they came out, it's not okay. We're not Money in the Bank is the cash in is not a thing. Even last year, I keep going back to last year with the men's war games. Damian didn't come out with it. I forget one of the other Judgment Day members. Rhea may have ran down to the ring.
Yeah, Rhea ran down right before Randy's entrance hit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, outside of that, who would you say your women's war game MVP was?
I really do want to give it to Tiffany.
As far as the best had the best performance in the match,
I think she did. We knew that Rhea going into it, she was going to do very well. We knew that, the stuff with Liv and Raquel. I thought the fire extinguisher into the handcuff, like kind of shrouding them, putting the handcuffs on Raquel. I thought that was genius work. But we knew some of these things were going to hit really, really well. I definitely think that Tiffany went out there and did great, especially climbing to the top. Like we expected from EO. We expected EO climbing up literally with a trash can strapped to her, right?
What is that now? The fourth time?
Here's my harness. I'm going up. But with Tiffany, we didn't expect that. We didn't expect with Tiffany for her to go out there and, well, yes, she's a great performer. It's her first War Games. Yeah. And I think she did wonderful for her first War Game. So I give the MVP award to Tiffany Stratton.
I would say that, but I also don't want to take it away from EO just because we expected a performance from her. That it's still great every time you get it. And her facial expressions, the way she can tell you and emote her emotions without even saying anything. Like when her and Tiff I want to say in the far side of the ring, the far right ring, when they were doing the tumble salts and the back flips one after another, like I'm like, I expect that from Tiff because she's a former gymnast, right? You don't know that about her. Like that's the one kudos I would give to everyone on the card tonight. I saw moves from wrestlers that I've been watching for the past year that I've never seen before. I never seen Jimmy do a corkscrew move, so I didn't even know he had that in his bag.
Exactly.
All. You know what I mean? So you're seeing cats have to go deeper into that bag because of the fact of how they need to show more while still telling the story.
No, I agree. I think I don't want to take it away from EO, but again, it's no different than when we were talking about Royal Rumbles and Kofi Kingston and Casey Catanzaro, doing the parkour or whatever. Like you expect that, but it's still great.
James says fire extinguisher was the MVP. So Butters, who was your MVP before we move on to the next match?
I gotta give it to Nia. She was trying her damnedest to make everything work.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay. I mean, she was put in a spot that she never had to kind of do that many bodies.
This is coming from the man that drafts Tamina at number 13.
You're giving her an E for effort. I got it.
And
here's the thing. And this is not bashing Nia. If anybody, whatever ears that this goes out to, whoever watches this, we're not bashing Nia. Nia didn't ask to be in that position, right? So she's making the best sandwich that she can make out of the ingredients that she's given.
Hell, at one point I'm trying to figure out what's going on because she's trying to give the chair shots to Naomi and Bayley, and they're just not working with her on it.
Yeah, it just seemed like either she was off timing wise, somebody.
Nia goes to lift that chair, and Naomi's got the hands up, and Nia's like, "No, this ain't fucking happening." Literally, you can hear her say it, and so finally Naomi bends over, and it's like Nia's like, "Damn it."
Yeah. I don't know. All right, what was the next match? Cool transition. I'm sorry.
LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought this was, for what it was just an okay match, right? I don't have anything really to take away from this.
No.
The crowd was dead for this match.
It was. I will say this. It was me, my wife, and my daughter. My youngest started watching it, and I've never noticed this before. When LA Knight came out, I was like, he's losing. He had it on his face. Yeah, I don't know if Trips or whatever they're gonna watch his back and say something. Like you could tell he just was like, I'm over it, I'm not happy. He dropped the belt getting into the ring. It was just, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to his run from SummerSlam to now. I think ultimately when he had the triple threat with Carmelo and Andrade, he shouldn't have been the one to come out of that match with the title, because I felt as if his chase was better than his run.
Well, but I also think that they spent so much time focusing on Andrade and Carmelo.
Yes.
And he literally played a secondary character in that.
For his own title.
Yep. That is where I think he got cooled off. He was, coming out of the match with Logan Paul and everything like that. It was he was on fire once again.
Yep.
It was revitalized, it was rejuvenated. And then you went into this bit with Carmelo and Andrade, and it just didn't take the way it was supposed to, or the way they had hoped it, but they never pivoted from it. They stayed the course.
Honestly, I don't know why on Raw we have Bron, and we have him skyrocketed 2-time Intercontinental champion already. Why they didn't do that shit with Melo on SmackDown? You literally could have done the same thing and put a title on this dude. He's already shown you he can carry that and elevate. Because WrestleMania 47, for instance, of 45, we're going to get Braun versus Carmelo in the main event. Like, that's going to happen at some point on a Mania card. So why I get it for Braun because visually, everything, lineage, but Melo is the same. And that's just the testament. And I feel like for LA Knight, it's just been bad timing and bad creative. Just like you said, like, why do we need to have 7 matches? Like, why do we? Why?
I think when they have, and I agree with Don. Let me phrase that. I will love it if that happens. If Joe Hendry comes in and whoops that ass.
I heard these people are saying like Hendry's cooled off. I'm like, where? Like, I'm still looking for him.
I think he not hasn't cooled off, but he was like, all right, I did like 2 months of working almost every day. Piss off. You guys can leave me alone for a minute.
Well, that, and he goes for the title at Bound for Glory, and they kind of like, nah.
Yeah, they screwed him over, but I don't want to get off topic.
Yep.
But where was I going with this? Oh my god. With LA Knight, when they know what they're doing in the sense of they have somebody that he can work off of. Like, if that feud was just mellow LA Knight, and it didn't go like with Melo winning the title, okay, fine. At least all the promos, all the matches, everything was hitting, because Melo can be that jackass that LA Knight needs on the other side of the coin.
Right. The smug, young, cocky dude who's never done anything.
Yeah.
Level. Yep.
And then now where I think the Shinsuke Nakamura feud fell flat is you have somebody of a character who it's very Undertaker-esque in the sense of the mind games and the mist. Yeah. It's like, and then all that darkness against a character who is just himself turned up to 11.
Yep.
Right?
Like, a face LA Knight or heel LA Knight is the same LA Knight.
Right. And I think the reason, like, somebody will say, well, Austin was himself turned up to 11. Yes, but Austin and Taker storylines, if you ever watched, it wasn't just Austin Taker. It involved the McMahons, or it involved Kane, right? There was always another factor there, because Austin could never play off of Undertaker like that.
Yep.
Right? So, problem was LA Knight beat literally all his competition with the first couple months. Also that, right? You had him roll. You had him roll through everybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He would have benefited from the Open Challenge, I think. Honestly, he would have benefited from the U.S. Open Challenge, and then don't put him in advertised matches. Just have these things happen with guys who may not have earned it, this, that, the third, what have you. NXT guys feed him something, right? And then get to that part.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. So the next match is Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser.
Runner up for match of the night for me.
So I there were parts of this match I missed because I knew it was getting close for me to leaving the office.
Okay.
There were certain things I had to do. And so I was in and out of my office getting these things done. I came back. I caught the end. I caught part of the start, and I caught the end. I enjoyed what I saw. I know, but I also know, like, all right, they're gonna put on a good match. I expect Braun to walk away with the title. Let me go do these things because I want to get home and watch the world title, and I want to watch the men's war games uninterrupted.
Yeah.
So I personally had to sacrifice that match, so I can't talk about the match itself, but I like the storyline that we had going into this, where you kind of had like Ludwig Kaiser going out to prove his own.
Yep.
Right? While yes, he's still with Gunther, he's still here to prove himself and his own worth. You had Sheamus, who wants to get back to the mountaintop of the Intercontinental title picture. And then you have Braun Breaker.
Back too. He's never been there. So
that's right. He's never been there. That is right. He's never been there.
There were at least a few times in that match they had me believing Sheamus was winning that title.
Yep.
Well, and I think it's only inevitable, right? Because it is Sheamus, because it is the only thing he's never done. It is inevitable. It will happen. But then you also have Braun Breaker, who's just like, come at me, bro.
Right. He's not, once again, he's not good or bad. He's just who he is. And that kind of played out in this match where both of them were, okay, they look at Kaiser like, okay, me and you got beef, Braun and Sheamus, but we really don't like this dude. This dude need to go.
Well, and the other thing that I like about what they're doing with Braun right now is they really don't have him trying to talk. I thought that was a big problem with his NXT run towards the end, especially when he got the title. Anytime they put a microphone in his hands, it was kind of awful.
Yep.
Whereas now he just comes out, beats a lot of ass, and then puts somebody through a barricade and then moves on.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't be any further from the truth, my brother. Because I would say Braun versus Sheamus at Mania, but I think it's Braun versus Goldberg. Try Goldberg versus Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, it was Shilede was involved. I did think Kaiser stood out in his own. Kaiser had some believable moments that he was walking away with the title. So even though we kind of going into it on paper, you think, okay, Braun's winning. And then the key thing is once LA Knight dropped his mid-card singles title, I was like, all right, they're not definitely doing both of those in the same night.
But this was great for Kaiser because we knew Kaiser is a great wrestler and a great talent.
Mm-hmm.
He proved that he belongs in that mid-card title picture. So now when he does have his one-on-one against the Sheamus, against the Braun Breaker, against the Sami Zayn, whoever the champion may be at the time, I can say, hey, you know what? Kaiser could win this now.
Yeah.
And I think that was what he needed. If you take nothing else away from this match was Ludwig Kaiser's like coming out party, essentially.
Yeah.
Of I am here and I can show you what I can do in the ring. And everybody got to see that. Everybody got to see he's not just Gunther's, right-hand man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gunther, we're going to talk about the World Championship match. I don't even have my notes for it.
Match of the night.
Match of the night. So much so, it's the match of the night. Where is it? This son of a bitch sends me a text to make sure I'm watching. Brinkman and I don't talk. Not because we don't like each other or anything. We just don't have really anything in common other than wrestling. He will text me only when a match is really good. So if I know Brinkman is texting me, which mind you, and I apologize, I ignored it for the first 5 minutes because I was literally still watching it on my phone. I saw it and I was like, I'll talk to Brinkman later. And I just kept watching. It's like, oh, you know what? I should probably answer Brinkman. He's asking about this.
Yeah.
But it was a great match.
Yes. Better than the SummerSlam match they had. I feel as if Priest is now, whatever reason, I don't know how this happened, more believable now. Like, I really wish he was the champion now versus when he had it, because it's just a different Priest, and he dipped into his bag, stuff that he hasn't done in a while. Gunther always puts on great matches. Obviously, we're going to talk about the end, interference with Finn.
I was not a fan of the ending. I thought he was done with that BS. Like, they moved on. Bye-bye. See ya.
I'm going to let Brits you go. And like Don says here, go ahead and snap into him like he is Slim Jim.
So what I can't understand is you have Damian win the title. You separate Damian from the Judgment Day. You have Finn elude Damian for weeks and months. And then Damian finally beats the brakes off of Finn. And now here we are 2 months later, and we're back at it again. For what reason? For why?
I can tell you, but I want you to finish.
No. Screw your reasoning. Because it's dumb. It's
logic.
bullshit.
Here's logic. Here's the window.
Fuck your logic too. Done. It absolutely should not have been done for no reason other than you're trying to put Finn in the title picture, and you can do it 1,000 different ways.
Here we go.
Having him screw Damian out of the title.
Me and James have a shared brain right now. No, not that one.
That one.
This one. So Finn has an obsession with Damian. They haven't even been interacting like physically on Raw, but when his name would come up in segments, you would see Finn's demeanors change, right? And now here, I didn't like it, but I appreciated Gunther's reaction to it. Gunther's reaction to it was, eat this boot. Bitch, why are you out here? Eat this boot. Then let me go ahead and finish my business. I think we're going to get a triple.
I love that part.
Or a cage match or something, because now Gunther, for the role he's been playing and this trend toward his character, is saying he wanted to beat Damian on his own.
By himself.
Every time he's beat Damian, Finn has gotten involved. So we're going to have either one or two things going to happen. Well, I definitely think Finn is leaving on Judgment Day, but I also think you're going to have Gunther versus Finn. Finn's going to get that smoke, get his ass whooped, and Damian's going to get his.
No, you don't. No.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
I get it, and I'm not saying no to you.
I know you don't want to see
it, but you can't reward somebody.
He's still a champion, by the way.
I don't give a flying fuck.
They should have lost to the War Raiders. I don't know how you.
They should have. They wholeheartedly should have lost to the War Raiders. No. They should. No, they're not doing anything with damn belts. Give them to the War Raiders.
Everybody shut up and let's get back in the car.
I'm not talking, sir.
On how I don't give a damn about him and his tag titles with fucking Ronald McDonald. I don't care. I have a problem with him inserting himself into a title picture that he doesn't belong in right now. Judgment Day Finn Balor. And I'm a Finn Balor guy. Judgment Day Finn Balor has been the biggest dumpster fire train wreck shit on the front porch that I have ever seen in my life. And I have watched wrestling for a long time. I don't understand why you go back to this, because now, per Pete's logic, or at least his thought process, and again, it's not Pete's, it's what WWE's probably going to do, because why the fuck not? You're going to feed Balor to the World Heavyweight Champion for one of two things. One, Gunther is going to slap his soul into the next millennium. Or two, Damian Priest is going to come beat the brakes off of Finn Balor for no reason.
Either way, it's going to be a broken down car.
He has a reason.
No. I'm sorry. Not that he has no reason, but there's nothing past that again. We've done this before. I've seen this movie.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to get a triple threat match.
The sequel is not as good as the original because the original sucked.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me that Dirty Dominic Mysterio, the fruit of Rey Mysterio's loins, is going to look at this man who has been in the world of professional wrestling longer than Dom has been alive.
Or close to it, but yeah, you're right.
Let me cook. And is going to say, hey, you have an unhealthy obsession, Kettle. There's a phone call for you. You have an unhealthy obsession with this man right over here. And because of that, I'm going to assume a role that I have no business being in. And I'm going to kick you out of a group that I originally have no business being a part of. But hey, we get to keep Carlito, though, because, you know,
he's cool.
Even though he has no business being there either. We're going to kick you out, which by proxy, because you and McDonough are champions, McDonough, you go with your teacher. You guys can be Ronald McDonald and the friggin' Hamburglar for all we care. And now the Judgment Day is going to consist of myself, Dominic Mysterio, a girl who is very clearly using me, and her muscle, and we're going to call ourselves a Judgment Day. Is it just because we are going to be judged on the fact that I cheated on my girlfriend, even though I'm very publicly married?
So is she.
I get it.
They swing both ways.
I'm going to cheat on mommy because this girl over here showed me a little bit more attention. Even though all she did, he's not wrong. And you know what? I'll make the movie reference. It's like the FBI agent that ends up in Wakanda at the end of the first one.
Oh, Martin Freeman.
Yeah, sure, that guy. But even though all Liv did was use me to get that gold belt around her waist, and now that her actual muscle is back, because Raquel can clearly out-wrestle Dominic on any given Tuesday, I'm no longer useful to her. And if I kick Finn out of the Judgment Day, McDonough goes as well. We get to keep Carlito, but he hasn't done anything since friggin' June, and even that was a stretch. So now what? Oh, wait, Liv, where you going? Liv, no, Raquel, come back. Wait, no. And now we're just the LWO Great Value Edition.
No, so I agree with what James is saying to a point where Finn is leaving the Judgment Day. But I think once he leaves, the Judgment Day in and of itself is now going to be this is all. And here's like when Edge created it, Edge was really the truly only defined leader. Once they kicked Edge out, it was all equals. When they were rolling, they were peaking when they was at his peak, they didn't have a true leader. It was just the Judgment Day. So now that everybody's trying to assert this dominance and have this voice over the whole crew, it was never like that. So now they're going to see the error in his way. So yeah, Finn and JD are gone. Carlito, who knows? And you're going to have Liv, Dom, and Raquel. And they're going to be their own thing, right? So you're just breaking up the Judgment Day. And here's the one thing I would say. I say 2025. This is the year where Dom has to show it in the ring on TV.
No, and
I've heard him have really good matches and house shows and non-televised events, and he can go. You just haven't seen that on TV. That's what they need to do to start making him believable so he can take that next step. He has everything else.
Agreed, 100%. This whole dominance within the Judgment Day, you haven't had dominance since you had Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Yep. Yeah.
Because, and here's the bitch of it all. When you had Rhea, and the way that they took Dominic from Rey Mysterio and turned him and everything like that, Tell me Dominic's a beta male without telling me Dominic's a beta male.
I mean, face value on TV, the man has had a good run. If a beta male consists of half your year with Rhea, half your year with Liv, like,
trust me, I don't think there's a single man, woman, or child that will disagree with that statement. But
you see it.
When we dig a
and
little,
you married in real life on top of that.
When we dig a little deeper into it, okay, my point still stands. Because then you look at the rest of the Judgment Day, and somehow defectively they all got turned into beta males.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't have that muscle. Essentially, Damian and Rhea was that. You literally have 5 people in a group, and the tallest person is 6'2". Like, what are we doing?
Matter of
fact, the tallest person may be Raquel. What do we do?
Raquel is the tallest, and she's easily the strongest. There's your muscle. Again, I will die on this hill. It's a group of beta males with a muscle woman. It's literally Wonder Woman hanging out with Plastic Man, Booster Gold, and friggin' the Tick.
Doom Patrol, bro.
Blue Beetle, you mean?
No,
that's what I'm saying. So that's 2025 when you disavow the Judgment Day and you have Dom still. Dom, by the next 6 months, where he's champion, whatever champion he is, if he does have it, he has to now have matches where he stands on his own. And he has to listen. I don't want to see him beat people with the frog splash. He has to get a new finisher. He probably already is working on one. It's something to be definitive.
I'm okay with the frog splash.
Everybody does a splash,
but nobody else is doing the frog splash. And when you look at the
Montez Ford beg to differ.
I don't call Montez Ford a frog splash. I think Montez gets launched off that damn thing, and he just so happens that his body moves with gravity. None of that's a real frog splash.
It's called the Slinky now.
Yeah, the Slinky. There you go. But Dominic's is actually like there's lineage, there's heritage. Yeah. He's paying homage. I'm okay with that. I don't think you need to change the finisher. And I think it still showcases, even if he has a match that's very technical and ground mat wrestling, it still shows a way to remind people of, hey, I can still fly high.
Yeah. It's coming, James. But no, so regardless of what we have to in the next 3 to 6 months for what we saw tonight, that train wreck has to have, that's the start of it. The end of that has to be no more Judgment Day. And then Dom has to be able to stand on his own. And then Finn, I don't know. Like I'm a Balor fan. This does not. It didn't make sense. And I get it from where WWE is coming from, but for me personally, like I didn't need that in that finish. Like we could have got that in that finish, but I don't know if they need a filler for Royal Rumble. If they need something to do with the World Heavyweight title, if they need
I think they need something for Saturday Night's main event.
Which is in, so now we have.
Yeah, but you already got Cody KO.
Which, by the way, why the hell wasn't Cody on this card?
Because of the fact that you needed this to breathe. And you need something big for the Saturday Night's main event. But we have a PLE.
And you're probably going to get Liv EO.
Nope.
On Saturday Night's main event.
Not you're going to get the women's. You're going to get. I'm calling it now. You're going to get Mia Chen versus Chelsea Green for the U.S. Women's title. Chelsea Green should go over, in my opinion. Have a Canadian.
Yeah.
U.S. Women's title.
She's out of it though.
Not Chelsea Green's not.
Thought she was.
Nope.
They're in the semifinals already. I'm saying Chelsea Green's going to beat Bayley.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, listen, man. What did I say last week? I said this. I said if they fight a Saturday's main event, it's time. It is time for Cody to drop the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's gonna happen, bro. But let's end off the show with men's war games. I will just go off and say this, and then you guys can run with it. Wrong team won tonight, in my opinion.
Oh, here we go.
No. Right team won.
No. Let's get fucking comfy. Bust out the popcorn. Please.
I'm just saying, for me, if I had the pen and the pad, wrong team won tonight.
Why?
Because at this point, I think I can tell a more deeper and better story with Solo truly being on top. Because now at this point, this almost is like, now I would say this, if they do now an OG Bloodline send-off, where these dudes are like the Infinity Stones and these fucking shits go back out into the universe, never to work with each other again except for Jimmy and Roman, cool. But what's Roman going? What are they going to do now?
Fight for the Ula Fala.
Now new Bloodline is on the ropes, and now they feel like, all right, now we got to get a. Now we're going to see this shit again.
No. Okay. This has never been about the new Bloodline versus the OG Bloodline. This has never been about Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Bachaloa, and Big Bronson Reed, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. Let's call it what it is.
Was Roman and Solo?
Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa for a necklace.
Wow.
That's what it is.
I hope you don't run into any Samoans in the next 7 to 10 days that may have watched the show.
No disrespect to it whatsoever. But at this point, if you take it at its most basic form, it is about one guy versus another guy for a piece of jewelry.
That determines who's the top dog of the family.
I will say this then. So I will not change what I said, but if that standpoint, if you're going to tell the story where because Roman still has to get knocked down. He still has to lose a couple things. If you're looking at this as this one match to close a chapter.
What do you mean he's got to lose a couple things? He lost everything.
Listen, the question says, what is Paul? What is CM Punk want? CM Punk wants Paul at some point. CM Punk, whatever he wants out of Paul, is going to end up hurting Roman.
I don't disagree there. And
that's what I mean. Like when I say Roman has to go through things, he has to go through things.
No, I think we do a whole show on the CM Punk favor. I really do. That's not what we're talking about right here, right now, though. Because I like I said, we can go on for another hour about that shit. What though? I will say here, when it comes to Roman's team winning, now Roman gets to look at Solo and go, the OG Bloodline beat you.
Mm-hmm. Roman got that pin on Solo.
He did that at Bad Blood, sir.
What?
I'm just saying. We forget about that.
Too damn far. That would require me to go shopping. That being said, though, right now he has said, all right, I got my bloodline back. I got my family back. I got my tribe back. Right? Because it's complete. Fuck Solo. He's the Benedict Arnold anyway. Right? So now the next step is to be recognized as the head of the table, as the tribal chief. So now I'm looking for the Ula Fala. Right? Okay, cool. And we've talked about this at damn nauseum. So I'm not sure how this is going to come as a surprise to anybody. Now, after he beats Solo at Royal Rumble for the Ula Fala, now he sets his sights on getting back his title. Because he's got it all back. He got the family. He got the Ula Fala. And now he wants his title.
But that's when he wins the Rumble, challenges Gunther, goes to Raw.
Stop it.
Wow.
Stop it.
That's diabolical.
Stop it. Shut up. No. Because one, I just said Roman versus Solo at the Royal Rumble. Right. Roman hasn't pulled double duty in years. 2.
He can do it.
2. Stop it. 2. He's not going to go to Raw to win a title he never had. He wants back the WWE Universal title. He held that thing for 4 years. Okay? 3. As soon as he says, I want the title, the Rock's music's going to hit, and now it's going to become, you can't get the title because you don't have everything back. You're not the tribal chief. plot twist. I'm the High Chief, and if you want to have everything back, you have to go through me. And now we walk across the street to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we do The Rock versus Roman under the big neon lights of Sin City.
But that's still not for a title.
I don't need it for a goddamn title.
You just literally said a minute ago that he wants to get his title back.
He does, but before he goes for the title.
Just say.
But before as he says, hey, now that I'm the tribal chief again, I have the Ulafala back, I'm now setting my sights on the title. Because we know The Rock's not going to work every week.
Of course.
Right? The Rock comes out and goes, you're not the tribal chief. You may have the Ulafala, but you're not the tribal chief.
See, and I would just use different wording because here's the thing. I think he does get the Ulafala back at Royal Rumble. I definitely think he dons himself as the tribal chief. But then when he does say, go back to your story, when he does say, I want the title back, that's the only thing that's missing, Rock's music hits. He says, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief, but you need to acknowledge me as a high chief. Two different things, two different realms. And then when we get to WrestleMania, we want to do it for the People's Championship or the title of High Chief. That's all well and good.
But I think that's ultimately where we get to, right? But the whole story doesn't revolve around the title, getting the title back necessarily.
I'm not. Mine doesn't either. I said the same thing you said.
Right. Wait,
okay.
No, you didn't.
It's not that. I changed from the standpoint of you said that he's the tribal chief, but I'm saying that Rock is going to say that even though you're the tribal chief, I'm the high chief.
Right. Agree. And then they're going to fight for the high chief title at WrestleMania. I said that.
So we're saying the same thing. You said what we weren't just saying the same thing.
Why the hell did you repeat it?
Because brothers, please look chat. What's going on? I don't know what's going on this side of the screen right now. I have no idea what's in that water down in Houston, Texas. I don't know if this man worked too hard today. His brain is fried on the fritz. I don't know what's going on.
Ritz on the fritz.
You are on the fritz. You are shorting out before our eyes.
About 116 people with only 7 likes. You down there have zero room to talk. You're the same human being that one drafted Tamina at 13. 2 said that all the ring at the Royal Rumble would collapse and everybody would just magically fall out, so number 30 would win. 3, you're the same man that said, "Oh, Roman Reigns is gonna work double duty and then win the Royal Rumble and then go beat Gunther for a title he never fucking held."
Well, let me make sure it present March 1st too. So,
and that moves him to Netflix on Raw.
I mean, I'm not. That could happen. I don't know if it would happen for the reasons why you said it would happen, Sir Mayor, but I could see that happening at some point.
I think Punk, Roman, Cody, I think everybody ends up on Raw anyway. Because Netflix
I think you definitely for sure. Because that.
And so, again, you still have Roman going after Cody for the WWE Universal title.
Cody may win it back at Royal Rumble.
I love it when I'm right.
I will call it right here. He win the Rumble. He win the world title. Said and done.
I don't know. And then you got Cena in the picture of everything as well somewhere. So, a customer at like 9:30 in the morning pissed him off, and he's been grinding gears ever since.
It was a salesperson.
See, I knew it. Somebody, he's not able to let it go.
No, because I couldn't yell at him.
So you yelled at Butters instead?
Because he would just take it like you wouldn't understand that I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You did something really dumb. Let's have a conversation on how to fix it. He would just assume like the absolute worst. And then he said some other really dumb things at lunch. And then like just his existence is really stupid to me some days. So I just went. I'm not apologizing for shit, but I just had it out.
But so where do we want to talk about the interaction and where do we get short term between Punk and Roman?
I think we get an understanding of there's a mutual respect for each other after what they put their bodies through. I think the favor Punk does call in is when we see them come back together, because I do think down the line it will be for a title shot.
Punk versus Roman for the title.
Yep.
I can see that.
I think he figures out Paul, tells Paul, I want you to get me a title shot with Roman. That's my favor. Or he gets the title shot and has Paul cost Roman the title. One way or the other. Because remember, we said the favor would hurt.
Right.
We said that the favor would hurt Roman. I think that's how you do it.
Yeah, and then remember, Heyman was there when they all exited the ring tonight. Very big on visual. Yes. Trips likes to tell a story in a way the cinematography is now. 4 members came out. Paul got 4 hugs. 4. When Roman came out, he looked almost as if he was going to walk past Paul, like he expected Paul to be there, and he gave him a pat on the back of the head. So I think at some point that favor, we're going to start to get that friction being told, like maybe Heyman really just don't want to be a lapdog with. Because remember, Punk went out his way and said, he's not my wise man, that's my friend.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's my friend. So I could almost book it right now. I think Punk's winning the Rumble. I don't know. And with that being said, I think almost Rollins will win the title at EC March 1st. You don't know which title is going to be in the EC Elimination Chamber for sure. But somehow you get to that.
I don't know who said it. I think Butters might have said it tonight. I don't know. I kind of got Jay winning the Rumble.
I said no. That was me, because remember I was saying, why is he coming out last? So here, if going into this, right, we had James talking about putting out bets. Going into this, if we would have handicapped this event and we'd have put a bet out there, what appearance do we see? Seth Rollins interfering at all tonight versus the rest of the roster. A smart money would have been on Seth, not fucking Finn Balor. Right? Not to go back. Not to go back there, but we didn't see Seth at all. You know what I mean? Yep. So right now between him and Bronson, it's 1-1. Are we going to get a rubber match? And now, how long? I'm curious to see coming out of this. How long do we see Bronson? Is Bronson a solidified member of the Bloodline now?
Yeah, that's going to be big, and that's where it's also like he's the only one on Raw. Are they going to keep bouncing back and forth? Is he going to be traded to? Here's an idea: is he going to be traded to SmackDown, and then you trade Roman and Jimmy to Raw to separate these two teams? Because then that would put Roman back in with the rest of the Bloodline, the original Bloodline. That would also put Roman on the same show as Punk, so you can do all these things and get Roman ready for Netflix. And then you have Bronson going over to SmackDown, becoming a solidified member, and now you have this other individual to go play with the U.S. title. This other individual to get mixed up in the tag team picture with, Ciampa. You have different things, because we don't know the story with Jacob. Is he really hurt?
I hope he's okay, man.
We don't know if Jimmy's really hurt. We noticed he got carried to the back a little bit too, right? There were a couple injuries. We were not 100% sure if it works or not. That's another big thing. Where does Drew go? I will say, I love the way the men's war games played out, because now all eyes are looking to Monday and Friday for what's next. What's the next chapter in this story? Where do we go with it next? Because as we've demonstrated here tonight, there are a million different ways you can take this, and there's not really one true bad way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, preferences.
All right, so Damian said, Jimmy said at the scrum he broke his toe. Okay, we didn't watch the scrum. We've obviously been on the air since it ended, so thank you for that, Damian.
Damian's other comment about Cena. Cena has won a Rumble, so I don't know. He won the one where he came back
at 30.
Yeah, but I remember he had tore his tricep and he had healed in like 4 months. Like it was ridiculous.
Not even 4 months. It was like 2 or 3.
And that was at MSG.
Yeah, that was at MSG. That was the year. I think that was the year it was WrestleMania 22. 21, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Either way, regardless of the fact, right? But then also,
is that the one he fought Miz?
It might have been
because he's never
WrestleMania what?
Outside of WrestleMania 21. Is that no? Because it had to be further than that.
21. Batista won the Rumble for 21, and that was Cena's first title.
Right, he's only won the
JBL
title at Mania once, his first win.
Yeah,
he's has multiple successful title defenses at Mania, but he's never won the title at Mania except that first one.
Hold on.
And he won the U.S. title the year before.
So it was 2008, maybe? Hold on. Yeah, it was 2008. So that would have been WrestleMania 24.
So how did he? I don't remember him winning a title at that. So that would have been WrestleMania 24. Was that Edge Taker? No,
that was Edge Taker. Yes, because it was at the Citrus Bowl, and it was when Undertaker's pyro went off at the end, where that wire got caught and fell down on some fans. It was Orton versus Cena versus Triple H in the triple threat, and Orton retained the title.
Okay.
I knew it was around that era.
Yeah, so I'm saying because that was a waste of a Rumble win. So he hasn't won it and then won at. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Got off track, but yeah. Lead it. Take us home, fearless leader.
But all right,
fearless leader, I should say.
That was it for Survivor Series. I think we had a phenomenal night. I think overall the event was good. It was nothing like last year's Survivor Series in the sense of the energy at the end of the night. But I think it hit home. There was no real bad match on the card. Other than, like if you had to pick a worse match, I think you would say it was the United States title match. But it was a necessary evil that we had to deal with. But for Pete, for Butters, I'm Ritz. We will see you guys next week back on Friday nights at our usual time of 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Go Birds.
Big game tomorrow, boys.
Until then, tell somebody you love them. Peace, love, and joy. We're out.